Yeah, the event, right. All right. So, guys, we're here with a special edition late night 2Techies. Uh, you might know him as Turn the Lights On. We know him as Rico Love, but now we know him as the tech dude. A lot of people don't know that about him, so we wanted to expose the different sides of him. So, Rico, when did you fall in love with tech?
You know what? I'm still very much a student. I started hanging out with Chris Bosh from the Miami Heat, and he kind of was hipping me to coding and teaching me about different things like that, and just studying and educating myself. It kind of is something that very much interests me.
Okay.
And I believe that it's the wave of the future, the way of the future, and I feel like we need to start investing our time and our energy and our resources into educating ourselves and all that tech and everything that relates to it.
I got you. I got you. So when you think about that, we're talking about innovation in tech. I kind of know your project, but I know the world doesn't know. So you might want to tell them, you might not. But what are you actually going to be doing in tech and innovation? What do you see as your role? What are you going to be making?
You know what? Basically, we developing different fun tools for the club and party elements.
Okay.
You know, my whole brand is Turn the Lights On, so we've been facilitating a LED band that is triggered by sound and like enhancing the VIP experience, for one. And second of all, we just developing new ways to communicate with people as creatives. So ideas and ideas for artists
Okay.
to be able to interact and work via like a social media outlet. You know, being able to exchange wave files with strangers that you've never met before and create content and then share it with the world. And as it builds, when it starts from a drum loop, adding a chord progression, adding a bass line, adding a vocalist, and watching that timeline just like you would a Twitter feed or Instagram timeline. So we developing things like that to just kind of enhance. I believe in being passionate about whatever you do and not just getting into something just because it may seem lucrative.
Right.
I think passion is everything.
Okay. You got to meet, I think we talked about this at the table, but you got to meet Rodney Williams for listener for your wristbands. He has that device where you can be in the club. He can send out sounds at a whole different frequency that can't be heard by the human ear, but it can be heard by your device to send special messages and everything like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm gonna make that plug for you. I'm gonna let you in. He's in Cincinnati, but he'll be more than happy to fly down here and work with you.
Oh, that's cool, man.
So breaking the mutiny, getting into something different. Craft beer, craft cocktail. What you drinking?
Craft beer.
Really? Mm-hmm. What kind of beer?
What am I into, right? But I've always been like a Heineken type of guy.
So something a little darker?
Yeah.
All right, shameless plug since it happened. No label on it because we don't even want y'all to see. So this is called Brown Sugar Ale. So we got a whole beer that's made off of music and Black history.
Oh, that's incredible.
So this is going to be for you. So you can take that.
Thank you.
Let us know how you feel about it. Tweet about it later. But
no doubt.
We're opening up a craft brewery called Timeline Brewery. So we want to bring that out for you.
Oh, that's dope.
Just happen to work,
man.
man.
Just happen
to work. If your business life was based on a movie or a TV show, and we plugged into you right now, what movie or show would we be looking at?
Wall Street. It's cutthroat. It's heartless. It's a cold world.
That's the stuff we're dealing with
right now. You gotta know your business.
Right.
You gotta be on your A game. I'm serious. Like, you gotta understand the game. You gotta understand that not many people care about you, but you gotta care enough about people consistently and still be a good person and do good business. But just that's the nature of the business. So I think Wall Street, that movie was so incredible because it was just extremely cutthroat.
And that was one of the things I was talking to the kids about when I was talking to them. I was like, look, man, Pharrell had 46 million spins streaming, and he only made $2,700 from Pandora. Like, you got to know what you're doing out here. If you're doing it just for money, you're chasing the wrong dream.
Yeah, exactly. And when you figure out that you are a brand and you are a business,
right, and
you understand that you want to protect your brand and your business,
you look at it a whole different way.
People that depend on you, you want to make sure. First of all, if anybody's making $1, you're supposed to make some. So it's not even a greedy thing. It's not even just saying. It's not called the music friendship. It's not called the music creativity.
Music business.
Music business.
Right.
So that business part, if somebody gonna eat, why not be me?
So with your tech development, because you're going into a different world, everybody knows you as a dope producer, dope writer. What do you feel are some of your biggest challenges and struggles that you might be dealing with in the tech industry?
Honestly, all I'm doing right now is educating myself.
Okay.
That's the key part. I'm not thinking about the struggles. I'm not thinking about the hurdles. I'm thinking about getting much knowledge and a wealth of knowledge as I possibly can. I always teach people when it comes to music. The more you know, the more information that you have. 3 questions you always ask yourself. What don't I know? Why don't I know it? And what do I do to apply? Well, how do I apply this information now that I have it? The most important question out of all three is, why didn't I know it?
Right.
Because as soon as I find out why I don't know something, it makes it harder for me not to know anything else.
That's true.
You
And
start
we talk
figuring
about resources.
out, you start figuring out, why was this information not given to me, and why didn't I expose myself to this information? When you start figuring out why you didn't know something, you start telling yourself, well, I'm not going to allow this to happen in any other parameter of my life. I'm going to make sure that I focus on knowing and eliminate anything that made me not know.
That's a gem. Being aware of your surroundings is always going to be your failure. Okay. So maybe on the technical side and going back to the music, what would you feel is like maybe one of the milestones in your journey or career where you just knew it was going to turn around? Or if you've already went through the milestone and what's the next milestone that you think you want to reach?
Ownership. I want to build a multimedia company that focuses on management, production, publishing, writing, and record company all in once. I see what 300 is doing. I see what Empire is doing. And I think they kind of like predominantly hip-hop. And I love hip-hop music, and I've had a great deal of success in hip-hop as well. Right. But I feel like R&B is my heart.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I'm able to invest in writing incredible quality songs, developing incredible quality artists, and giving them a platform on all levels. Tech, artistry, music, film, television, everything. And branding and understanding how to own it is not enough. People could say, well, you made millions. All right, cool, but who has made, if I'm making millions and they giving me a check, what are they making?
Yeah.
And how do we get in a position to be there and be where they are?
Just like a VC is 10 times fold, so somebody got 1,000% profit, and you just eating on that.
Come on, man.
I feel you.
And if you're okay with that, then you never had to pay taxes.
That's true. That's true. So is that the hope that you might be our R&B savior? Because I miss real R&B, man.
I mean, I just want to do consistent good music. It's not just R&B. That's my passion. But I don't really consider myself R&B savior. I just know what I'm really good at, and I know what I care about. And people can always say, you know, everybody can. I have millions of people who tell me they miss R&B, right?
Right.
So why you ain't buy Monica album?
Yeah.
You know, why you ain't buy the, you know?
I just went and bought a little dude Kevin Ross album, like.
Yeah, a lot of people are not buying the records, but then they come to the show.
Right.
You understand? Like, you go to Coachella and you see people selling out whole forts. Everybody know every word. Somebody sold 5,000 the first week. How that feel? I saw Empire of the Sun performing 200,000 people. They did 5,000 the first week. How y'all know all these songs?
Still in the music.
You know what I mean? So let's start supporting what we believe in. If you go to a restaurant right now and your waiter take too long to come out, you're not going to walk out and leave without paying. You're going to leave something on the table at least.
Right.
Because you respect what went into creating that. So my whole journey is to educate people and make them understand how serious and how difficult of a job this is, so that they can respect my work so much that even if I didn't ask them for money, they would want to give it.
I think that goes back into tech, though, like you said. I mean, we have a society right now where our youth, they're just users, and they're not focusing on being creators. And I always tell people, create.
If you focus on being a creator, you'll respect other creators.
Yeah, a lot more.
And that's the key. That's why I developed the We Love Music Conference, is because I want to educate people and teach people what goes into creating a great song, what goes into managing an artist, what goes into developing an act, what goes into music publishing, what goes into royalty rights, what goes into sound exchange, everything. And then when they respect and value the work that's done, they're able to say, I don't want to rob this person. I want to make sure he eat because he busts his ass to get here.
Can we just tell them to just drop the mix CDs, though? Just go buy some jump drives and put the music on there.
Yeah, man.
I just need to be able to plug in.
Yeah, man, because times are changing.
Yeah, you got to move with the time.
Guys still passing out CDs?
Man, yeah. Passing out CDs, but I was telling people, like,
it breaks my heart that CDs are gone, though, because I really love CDs. I love having a CD booklet under your car. I had somebody break into my car once and take my whole CD book. It was like this big.
I lost about 400
we used to flip through those.
Yeah, that was the drive, but the books, though. The artist, I'm a graphic designer.
Exactly.
So the artistry that went into those
and looking at the credits and looking at the artwork. But times have changed.
Right.
And as much as I miss when DJs carried crates and spin records. I used to see that dynamic, and I thought it was incredible. So now that that's changed and it's different, I can't cry about what's different. I have to advance myself. So you have to grow.
Right.
And if somebody sees that you're still with a CD, it's like almost like, I wonder what the music sound like. This guy's stuck in.
The music ain't gonna be banging if you ain't with the technology.
That may not necessarily be true, but you're gonna definitely question it.
You're gonna judge it. Yeah. It's a judgment zone. So you might, being in the tech industry, and one of our biggest things is diversity and inclusion. It's the aspect of making sure that there's growth in the community and people are aware of it. So I just want to get your genuine response when you hear these two words, and I just want to know when you hear it, what do you think about it? When you hear the words diversity inclusion, what is your response to it?
That means welcoming people of all cultures, all colors, all creeds, all backgrounds to be able to explore and exercise their freedom and their right to grow in the tech world.
Okay. If you had all the money,
and not to cut you off, but they really are cutting us out, bro. They're making
go.
us feel like we shouldn't even be in the tech world.
Right.
They're making it difficult for us. They're saying if you're not older white kid or a teenage white kid or Asian, that you can't be in the game. Not understanding this for the taking. It's for everybody. Understand and learn coding. Like understand graphics. Understand how to develop things. Understand how to just be a fan, a consumer of it. Maybe you might not be into me personally. I'm not going to be coding myself personally.
But you're going to be.
But I definitely want to be a develop products and be a part of it and understand what's what. You know, if you understood that Steve Jobs probably couldn't even turn on his first computer. He had somebody else doing it for him. Yes. But he was the mind behind it. He was the genius behind it.
He was working with Woz. He had somebody else to do that work for him.
Exactly.
So if you had all the money, money's not an issue. You got the resources to fix diversity inclusion in technology. But you have to do your pitch in 4 sentences or less. It's absolutely 4 sentences. There's somebody watching this right now. They're going to give you all the money, all the resources to fix diversity inclusion problem. Your pitch is in four sentences. What's the pitch?
If my people don't know, they perish. 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 The information. If we don't have the information, we die. If we're not elevating, if we're not growing, we die. I don't mean figuratively. I mean literally.
Right.
If we don't know, we die.
Man, for some reason, when you said that, all I could hear was strange fruit in the back of my mind. Because I feel that we're getting killed in a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
It's tech, but I just heard strange fruit just playing over and over again. All right.
Shout out to Nina Simone.
All day. The world is yours.
Or Billie Holiday, the original.
The original.
Whichever one you like.
Whichever. Preference. It's a preference. The world is yours.
Some thinking we talking about Kanye. Right?
he made it. The world is yours. You get to choose a mentor. You got their money, full accessibility, 24/7. They answering the phone whenever you need them. Who's your mentor?
I mean, they can be alive.
They got to be alive.
Damn it. Because I want to talk to Walt Disney, bro.
Oh, I could feel that.
But
his documentary is dope. I could feel that.
Genius.
Yeah.
Supported the Nazis, though.
He was kind of racist.
Yeah, he was kind of racist, but hey, man, you can't have it all.
Can't be perfect.
You know, be a genius and be a bigot.
That.
You know, but
or you can be an idiot and be bigot. That'd be Trump.
Well, I mean, it's impossible to be a bigot without being an idiot, though.
There you go.
Racism is ignorance.
You missed something.
See. So I would have to say Oprah.
Okay.
And this is why, not because the cliche answer, because Oprah is because the relationships that Oprah has, I believe that she has the resources to answer or find the answer for any question I could possibly have. And I would just love to hang around Oprah because the people that are drawn to her success,
she would have the resources. Yeah. I got you. So there's a soundtrack to your life.
And also Oprah's not black or white. She's Oprah.
That's a definitive statement.
You know, she's a black woman and she owns it. But when people see Oprah,
her success has transcended race.
Exactly.
It's bigger than race.
Exactly.
It's bigger than women.
White people don't think Oprah's a black lady. They think it's just Oprah.
Oprah, right?
It's
like that black.
It's like
your black.
It's like that skit they did on SNL once when it was like, Beyonce's black. Even jumping. Like yes. Single ladies, yes.
She's still black.
Yeah. It was like the Austin Power movie. It was like.
I don't know about that.
She wasn't black then.
All right, so we got your bands working. So the wristbands are working, and they can reflect a soundtrack of your life. So if you were wearing the band right now, and there had to be a soundtrack to your life, it's either gonna bring up a song or an album. What would come up on your band right now?
The Beatles' Abbey Road.
That's
man.
Dope.
Blackbird, and specifically that song, that melody, is like, because I think of that song before I write any song, that progression.
This is the one thing about, I've always wanted to have this interview with a musician, because the answers are so much more dynamic.
But if anybody is familiar with the Abbey Road, the album, it's like towards the end of the album, they take Golden Slumbers into the Queen Like they transition the last 4 songs into one long song, so it's seamless. One song is like 45 seconds, and then goes straight into the next song. You don't realize it. So
I think that's the art of music that's missing. Like the dude Jameson, his album,
super dope.
Yeah, and like I was trying to tell them for one of these recent events, like that's the kind of person you need to bring out. Most people won't know him, but if they heard him, they will love him.
Yeah, but that's how you get to know anybody.
Right.
I was performing once, and I told the crowd, like, I'm gonna tell you a secret. You may not have known any song that you've ever heard in your life. There was a time that you hadn't heard it before. So relax and stop being a dickhead.
Give music a chance.
And give it a chance. So I think Blackbird, that progression. Take these open wings and learn to fly all my life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise. And I hear that melody, it's like genius, you know? So I think that's the soundtrack of my life. I don't even understand like why, but every time I get in the studio, I think of that progression.
We're going to have to find a way to get that melody on there without getting sued, because this video gets shut down in like 3 seconds.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll just mute it.
Nah. You singing it is different, but if we played that melody in the background, you know, they Shazam and everything now. So we're all in the game. One day you either going to retire, you might do something different, or God going to call you home. But what would define the legacy of Rico Love? What do you want to be a defining legacy?
Passionate. I'm extremely passionate, and passion makes you knowledgeable. Because when you're passionate about somebody, if I meet a woman and she just blows me away, I want to know everything about her. I want to know what she likes to drink, what she likes to eat, her favorite fragrance, where she likes to go, what turns her on, what turns her off, you know, what triggers her emotions, what evokes emotion, what makes her hot, what makes her cold. And that's how I am with music. I'm passionate about it, and I'm about influence. I used to say I want to be the greatest more than I want to be the richest, and then I decided that I want to be the most influential.
Yeah.
Because influence is power.
I could see your passion walking around just when they were going through that. I mean, that's like I was about maybe 10 seconds of music, and for you to have to listen to it over and over again, then you singing it to yourself to see how you wanted it to sound and making sure it reflected. And I saw you going back and forth. I'm like, yo, they just spent 10 minutes on 7 seconds of audio.
Yeah.
You have to be borderline obsessive compulsive to have that kind of drive to fix 10 seconds of audio.
All right. When you my father's a chef, right?
Okay.
And he knows. Basically, I took him to Prime 112 once. He had the deviled eggs, which are incredible, by the way. If you haven't tried those, you're missing out. So he had the deviled eggs, right? And he was like, nutmeg, a little bit of sugar. They put some brown sugar on it, and he could taste. And what he did was he knew every ingredient just from eating the deviled egg. That's how much he knows about culinary arts. So this consumer has no clue of why they like the deviled egg, but the creator understands what makes it great. So me sitting there for 10 minutes on one part is because I know that this part is what they're gonna love. It's not your job to understand why you like something. You're just supposed to like it. My job is to make everything so perfect that when it gets to that particular part, you don't know why it makes you feel a certain way. It's because we sat there and made sure it was just right.
And so when people hear that song, I won't say the song, but when they hear that extra background that you made sure was synced and not off that 1/10 of a second,
they'll understand.
They're gonna be like, that's the part I'm walking around singing.
Exactly.
They'll be doing the same thing you were doing. They're gonna be in the shower. They're gonna be walking around singing that one part when they hear that song. Man. All right. So,
it's not by luck.
Right.
I want people to be very clear about me and what I've been able to do in my career. To have the amount of success, the amount of hit records I've been able to have consistently over the years. It's not because I got lucky. It's because I bust my ass and I respect the culture and I respect everyone who buys the record, who creates the record, and I want to be a part of pushing the culture forward. So this is not by luck, it's not by chance. I didn't get in the studio and just hum over a bunch of tracks and I got lucky and had a really good year once and then people put me in the Hall of Fame. No. I bust my ass and I study and I work every single day like I have nothing, like I'm homeless, like I'm poor, like my family is going to die if I don't write the next big hit record today.
I've said my new phrase for 2017 was die empty. All the ideas, everything, I just want it out there in the world. Because if I die with it, can't do nothing with it. Man? And I'm going to leave somebody else that I could have inspired.
It's some genius sitting around in somebody's notepad somewhere.
Yeah.
That we still ain't discovered. We got to rummage through this stuff, some dead guy. And you got to get it all out, man. Don't hold back.
So I'm assuming the progression for you, as you're talking about producing and the publishing, you're going to be scoring movies and everything
Absolutely.
else next.
Yeah. I wrote the theme song for Sex and the City, the movie. When that movie came out, and I remember being like so enamored.
Slow down. Rewind. You wrote the theme song for Sex and the City?
Yeah, the movie.
Say word.
Yeah, man. And I remember when I was at the premiere and watching the film, and I'm sitting across from Sarah Jessica Parker, and I was watching Michael Patrick King, and I was there, and I'm just like, we here. And what I knew early on was that I'm going to be back here in another capacity, creating and developing the films and the scores, not just having a role as the music guy.
Man.
I want to be a part of everything.
I keep trying to tell people that's a whole different paycheck. Them royalties look a whole lot different.
Yeah, movie money is real.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I think I bought a Bentley off of Sex and the City. I ain't trying to flex. I'm just being real.
No, this is what I needed somebody to say, because I keep going and talking to these young kids in high school and everything. I'm like, you weren't about making a hit song. I was like, everybody hold up your phone. It's like, well, we got to hold up your phone. It's like, what's the sound that it make when you turn on your iPhone? And it's, oh, they all making the sound and everything. I'm like, somebody had to make that sound. How many albums, how many plays is that? How many times has that phone sold?
I'm sure
that's the sound you want to make.
Tim Cook jerked them for it, though.
Yeah, he probably got it for like $50. And I mean, so I'm like, think beyond just being on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Think what's next. You know, I think.
Think about owning the radio stations, man. You know, controlling the culture. Spotify's the new radio.
And a lot of people might be like, you talking about music and everything, and I want to let people understand this transpires right back to tech.
Oh, yeah.
Technology is what's making all this stuff capable
Absolutely.
right now on an easier level.
Absolutely.
Well, man, we really appreciate your time, but if you want to, tell the people how they can find you, or at least where they can follow you at on some of the Instagram and some of your social media channels.
You could find me on Instagram at I am Rico Love. You can find me on Snapchat at I am Rico Love 5, the number 5. Twitter, I am Rico Love. Facebook, Rico Love Music, and also go to www.welovemusicttlo.com to register for the We Love Music Conference, July 14th and 15th, Indianapolis, Indiana, 2017. We're giving up. This is our second annual. We got Ludacris, we got Trina, we got Tammy Rivera, we got Pleasure P, we got myself, we got Danger, we got B. Cox, we got Byron Trice. We're going to be all teaching master classes on how to develop and grow as producers, songwriters, artists, managers, A&Rs.
You need a tech and VR team.
We definitely
we
can
make
into
that trip.
We want to make sure we cover all the bases.
Got you, man. All right, so know you went to church, whether it was a Southern Baptist church or any church, you know, somebody would say, hey, give us your final word, and that final word would turn into a whole nother sermon. So we actually do the final word. It's not a phrase, it's not a sentence. We just want you to close us out with one word, either what you're going through right now or just the thoughts that's going through your head from this interview. Just close us out with that one word.
Blessed.
All right, guys. It's another version of 2Techies. We really appreciate Rico for letting us come out. Catch you on the next one.